We have a company up here which is more of a military technology company, mechanical devices that fly and so forth.
So basically we are building, hawks for the Air Force, and they'll look like real birds, so you can hide in plain sight, and do surveillance.
And the battery needs to charge, or we could have that actually fly down.
So it flies and perches on power lines.
I mean, all the companies are at some level doing technology. About a third of those are life sciences in some connection. A lot of them are software.
My name is Pritesh Gandhi. I'm the CEO of Ambient Devices, and we've been at CIC since 2001.
Pritesh runs the longest standing company here at CIC.
These devices are showing you the real-time price of energy. So we're working on a new set of products that shows consumers what the current cost of energy might be. So this device is green right now because energy is cheap. If it were a more expensive time, or more expensive period during the cost of energy, it would go from green to red. And the screen over here shows you a little bit more of the drilled out information that gives you more detail as to what the current cost might be and what your current consumption is as well.
So let me see if I understand. I understand that in the middle of summer, when everyone's running their air conditioners, that the country runs low on energy.
Absolutely.
And this will change color to let me know it would be a good time, if I could, to turn extra lights off and things like that?
Absolutely. And the way we're working with utility companies right now is that they're giving these away to their consumers because they want to proactively reduce the load on the grid.
We announced with Boston's Mayor Menino that we are opening a new center in Boston in the Innovation District. It is provisionally called the Boston Innovation Center. It will be a gathering space for entrepreneurs and innovators. It'll be big enough to hold quite significant events, a 250-person auditorium. Some people know I've been working on some legislation in the Senate and the House on enabling new kinds of funding for startups. But I think one of the things that's nice is as you walk around, people know that. And I know stuff about what their progress is, and that's what we call a community, when people are tuned into each other and want to see each other succeed and often go out of their way to help. We're standing inside the Venture Cafe. We typically get 300 to 400 people each week in this space and the surrounding corridors. We do serve wine and beer. We also, for those who are not as interested in the alcohol, we have a soda bar. They're not just clients here at Cambridge Innovation Center, they could be from anywhere. And the one requirement is that they be active in the innovation ecosystem. They might be an inventor, an entrepreneur, an angel investor. Our goal is to increase the degree of connection, collaboration, and community within that larger group.
So an angel group brings together high net worth individuals, really successful entrepreneurs, business leaders from the community to help startups, not only with their money, but also to help with their connections, their credibility. I mean, entrepreneurs, when they're starting, have nothing. And they're creating a whole new entity, and they need to recruit in people, get customers, partners, capital. And having people who are leaders in the community already circle around them is usually a pretty good thing. So we have a network of 65 angel investors, all of whom are leaders in the high-tech community. And then we also, unlike a lot of angel organizations, also have funds under management. So we have additional capital from a lot of other leaders who not only are in this community but don't have time to be involved as much, but also other geographies. So we're able actually to reach across the country and across the Atlantic. The research that some academics have done have said there are up to about 250,000 people a year who invest in high-growth startups. So not pizza parlors or dry cleaners or service businesses, but things that have the potential to become significant companies in a relatively short amount of time. Most of those are tech companies, the research shows. But a lot of those people are casual. They do it once or twice, and they may not do it again for a long time. They usually do it for personal relationships. There are now 145 groups of angel investors who are members of the Angel Capital Association.
So one thing that people don't know about me, I guess, is that my first job was as a school teacher, teaching 11, 12-year-olds in a refugee camp. I would say my biggest professional success is, without question, CIC. It has certainly grown beyond any of our aspirations, and I'm very excited about it. I love coming here every day. In some ways, it was also my biggest failure. We raised $17 million early on in the dot-com boom era to start this business on a different business model. That business model didn't work. We lost most of that money and had to let go some 45 out of the 50 employees that we had. It was a very difficult time, and so it's doing great today, and I'm very proud of it. It's not always been easy. Sometimes I think about, well, what if this business doesn't work out? And I'm around in this area, and I think I'm pretty good at making computers work. I could see a career in tech support. I'm fortunate to have a terrific team here. There's almost nothing that happens at CIC on a day-to-day basis that requires me. And that's allowed me to work on new projects, big projects like the Boston Innovation Center project that we've talked about. I think that all CEOs should ideally run their companies so that they themselves are not needed. It's important to give people the runway to be whatever they can be and to take on a little more responsibility than they or you may be comfortable with them having. Let them grow, let them stretch themselves, and you may surprise yourself. You may find that your team really can do it all, and that frees you up to think about the next thing. Actually, we had this announcement in Boston with the mayor of Boston, and it was 500 people in the audience. I was very nervous and sitting there in the audience, and the mayor gets to the point in his speech to talk about this center and says, we're going to do it with Tim Rowe over here, and I'm kind of feeling very small, and he says, Timmy, come on, Timmy. So I stood up. It's the first time since 6th grade that anyone's called me Timmy. I thought it was great. The best advice that I've ever heard was from a board member, Phil Villers, founder of Computer Vision. He said, never write a contract if you wouldn't be willing to switch places with the person you're negotiating with and be on the other side of that contract. If you think it through that way, and if you write a contract that's sound for both parties, it will endure. My advice to entrepreneurs in 2012, just do it. There's no better time to start a business. You will never figure out how to do it except by doing it, and by doing it, you'll figure out how to do it. You know, I shook the hand of the president once, but I don't think that I could say that I've met him. I am really excited to see this country led by a principled, long-term thinker who thinks globally. We haven't had that for a while, and I would love to spend an afternoon chatting with Barack Obama. I don't know if that'll ever happen. I think I'd like to be remembered as someone who took care of people, who was a mentor, who helped people out of a tough spot, who was honest. That's good enough for me. I frankly think that it's a trap to be excited about what you've achieved. I think it's more important to ask yourself what haven't you achieved and what needs to get achieved. The rest of the world doesn't have this, and perhaps it should. Hi, I'm Tim Rowe. I'm founder and CEO of Cambridge Innovation Center. Welcome to my center. I have to unlock it first. Can you beep it shortly before, as I'm turning? Okay.